So this is my second orientation video. I said that I would start off with the race thing we did. We started off at the top of a parking ramp. We had to learn our chant that is for our college or our dorm, and then after that we got into our groups. So by our teams or whatever, and then we had to race down, and you had to stay with your team the entire time. Luckily our team was small, we had the fewest number of people in it, so it was really easy to keep track of everybody. But we had to run down to where kind of like the mall market thing is. It's hard to explain, but we ran down there. It was really crowded, and we found one of our O week leaders, and he gave us the task to do ghosting, I think is what it's called. I've never heard of it before, but my teammates had, and apparently one of our teammates had to walk up behind someone and shadow their movements and walk really close behind them without the person turning around and noticing. So we did that and got our next destination, so we took off running, and we literally ran the entire time. There was a few times when I stopped a bit because I'm out of shape. And one of the girls on our team, she has asthma, so I was also worried about her, and I kept wanting to stop and make sure she was okay. So, but everybody else on our team ran pretty much the entire time, and we were able to get really far ahead of the other teams, which is nice. So we got to the next person, and I think the second next person, we had to make a pyramid in the park. So they took our picture of us making a human pyramid. And then we had to run to the next spot, and that spot we had to get on top of a cannon and take a picture. And then the next spot, one of our teammates had to drink an entire thing of Coke and then run some more, so he was feeling pretty shitty apparently. So we got to the last spot, which was we had to run up a hill and then slide down as a train, all connected together down a slide. And yeah, so that was awesome. We ended up winning the race, but since we didn't collect business cards along the way, and we weren't smart enough to think to just use the business cards already in our wallets, we ended up getting second place instead, but we won the race technically. So that was really exciting. And then, so we walked back to the dorms and took a nap. I took a nap because I was exhausted. And we met up at 3 to drive down to Port Arthur. It's a prison, an old prison, and yeah, it's an hour and a half drive, so I pretty much slept the entire way there and back. But we got there and we played games, sports and stuff, and talked a lot, and then we did a barbecue, and we played boat races, I think is what it's called. But basically you get a group of people, 2 teams, to go up against each other, and you fill up their cups of whatever drink you want, and the one person, you had to start off with your hands on the table and then your chin on the table, and someone will count off 3, 2, 1, go, and the first person goes and they drink their entire drink, and then they have to put their cup on top of their head. So if you're not careful, you're gonna get wet, because if you don't drink it all, it's gonna get all over your head. But I was smart enough to drink the entire thing quickly so that I can get on the top of my head, and the next person goes, and it keeps going. So our team ended up winning. Our blue team won against all the other freshers, but then it was freshers against lifers, which are our O week leaders, but they're also other people who, basically if you live in the dorms for at least a year, you're a lifer. So it was freshies against lifers, and we won, which apparently never happens. It's always the lifers who win, but freshies won. So we were really excited. And then after that, we went to the tour. It was a ghost tour through Port Arthur. It was really cool. It wasn't terrifying like I was hoping it would be. I was kind of hoping to see something creepy, or I don't know. But the ghost stories were really cool. It was really interesting, and getting to see all the buildings and everything was interesting. Sorry. So yeah, after that we went home, went back, fell asleep, And then we had something at 10:30 in the morning on Thursday, which was basically we met up and then we got tours through some of the buildings on campus, which was actually really nice because I got to sign up for my labs. Here, you have to sign up for your labs or practicals by going to the classroom usually and signing up on a piece of paper. And for like tutorials, which is kind of like recitations, you have to do the same thing. You sign up either in the class or they'll put up a sheet outside of the classroom and you have to sign up within the first week. So the sooner you go, the better time you'll get. So luckily, since I went on that tour, I got the times that I wanted, which was really nice. Yeah. So then, I don't know, I did that for a little while, but I didn't need to do the entire tour because I'd already seen my main building and I already knew my way a bit of like the campus, so I was good. I ended up leaving early and I went to go into town to see if I could find a cell phone, which I actually didn't end up getting because I don't want to have to pay like $70 a month, or not $70 a month, but like $50 for the phone that I'm only going to keep for 4 months and then like 30 some each month while I'm here. I don't know. It was an expense I don't need because I can get a hold of people over Facebook. And the people that I hang out with live in our dorms, so I know where they live. I can just go knock on their door. It's not a big deal. But yeah, anyway, so I started walking, and I saw the two girls that I had met that I pretty much hang with all the time. They were hanging out or sitting at a bus stop waiting for another girl to show up. And so I just sat with them for a bit and then walked into town with them to meet the girl because she apparently accidentally walked into town thinking she was, I don't know, something got miscommunicated. So we walked in town, met with her, and then we continued walking into town. It was like 20 minutes, 30 minutes of walking. It was intense, but it was nice. We went to town and they got their Metro Pass, which I didn't want. And then we got something to eat at a little shop. That was really good. And then went to a store and looked around a bit and then walked back to campus, and that took a very long time, but it was nice. I wanted to go into the city and kind of look around, so I was glad that I got to do that. So yeah, and then I think I just sat around all day after I got back because I was tired. Probably took a nap, but yeah. Then we had to get all dressed up in dresses, and men had to wear like suits and ties, and a little formal event for our dinner that night. But there's this thing called class, and it's like, I don't even know, college ladies something, but it's like a secret ladies group, and then there's a secret males group called the GC that they're in. And it's like before some sort of event they might call for us to get together, and it's basically just we have our things that we do that we're not allowed to talk about, and the guys have their things that they do that they're not allowed to talk about, and it's just a good opportunity to get to know the girls or the guys that are in your dorm and make friends and stuff. And yeah, so it was cool. We did that, and then we walked to the dining center, whatever that's here, called Peppers, and all the guys lined up outside the door and like made a tunnel for us to walk through and clapped while we walked through them. It was super awkward. We were all like, hey, how's it going? Like trying to block ourselves because it was just so awkward. And it was just like I could not stop smiling because I was like, this is really adorable, but it's really kind of awkward. Like, I don't weird. But yeah, whatever. It was fine. But yeah, so we had dinner, and then we walked to the pub that night and drank at the pub, which is also very weird because at the pubs you don't dance and party. You drink and that's it, and talk. Drink and talk, and that's it. And I'm not used to that. So me and the other girl is from Iowa State. We just sat there and we're looking around like, where's the dance floor? Like, what are we doing here? I don't get it. But it was alright. We walked back early with one of the guys we met and hung out with him or whatever, so it was okay. And then Friday we had to get up really early. We had a 4:45 a.m. wake up call because we drove up to Mount Wellington. It's, I think, the tallest mountain in Hobart. So it's not very tall, actually. It's the tallest here, but it's not tall at all. But we went up there and went to watch the sunset, but the sunrise. But the sun wasn't coming up. It was taking forever, and it was foggy, so we couldn't even see it when it came up. So it was kind of funny. We were all freezing. I wasn't all that cold, but I don't know. I'm used to Iowa. So it was like, oh yeah, walk around in my t-shirt in this. Like, this isn't that bad. And then they decided to do a naked run, and it was a competition, and whoever stood out there the longest got points for their team. So me and a few other girls were like, yeah, we'll do it. There was like 5 girls who did it. We ran up there and came back down with the guys, and there's like, I don't know, 15 of us maybe who did it. And pretty much after like a few minutes, people started dropping out because it was just so cold. People were freezing, and it ended up being just me and one of the guys from my team standing there, me in my underwear and him butt naked on this mountain watching for the sunset, and he was shaking. He said he was numb, but I had goosebumps everywhere apparently, and I felt fine. Like, the only thing that hurt was my feet, and that was because there was like wire on the floor. So, like, on the deck we were on, so it was painful, but I wasn't all that cold, so we were just standing there. We stood there for all, like, 15 minutes, maybe, but our leaders were like, okay, enough, guys, go get dressed, because it's painful to watch you guys stand out here. It's so cold. Yeah, we were pretty excited for ourselves. Like, we were really proud. And so we, got dressed, and then we drove down the mountain a little bit and had a barbecue and hung out. And then drove back, and instead of taking a nap like I should have, I got on the internet and I wasted time. And then I ended up regretting it later because I was really tired. But we met later that night and went to a bunch of house parties. There was like 3 houses, and we just jumped from house to house. And at the first house we had a barbecue, and there's a pool that some people swam in. And then the second house, it was basically just more drinking games and talking. And then the third house was just everybody was too messed up to even walk right. So, I don't know. I left early for that one. One of the guys I met walked me back to my dorm. And yeah, so I went to bed. I didn't even care to stay out that late. So we got back at like midnight, which wasn't bad. The next morning, I got up not too early. Most people met at like 9:30 to go to the Santa Monica Market, which is pretty cool here. But I got a ride from the guy that I met, and so he drove me there, and we walked around a bit, watched 2 African dancers, which was really cool. They were really awesome. Then we came back and had lunch, and then had a barbecue lunch like an hour later. I didn't realize there was a barbecue lunch. So we ended up eating before that anyway. But yeah, so we ate extra. And then I had to do my fresher exam, which consisted of like trying to answer questions while getting smeared with stuff. So I got Vegemite on my hand, which I tasted, and tastes disgusting. If you want to hear my explanation and description of what Vegemite tastes like, message me or get a hold of me, because I can't even say it out loud. It's so inappropriate and so disgusting. It's just, ugh, God. So yeah, that's nasty, but I had someone talk me into trying it again later, because he said that I ate it wrong, because you're not supposed to eat it just plain. So I'm going to try that again. But then after that, we met up at we met up again, and yeah, so I will I'll do another video for what we did on Saturday night, because I'm almost at 15 minutes again. So 3rd video, yay!